Look at the current rank you're at. Don't you think you need to up your FPL game? 90% watching this video are currently unsubscribed to the channel, so go down and hit the subscribe button to get better at FPL. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we'll look at the top players for predicted points in Gameweek 14 and in the next 3 game weeks up to the World Cup break to make your transfer plans and captaincy a lot easier. Let's start off with the goalkeepers. Ramsdale is on top of the projections as they face Forest at home, a very favourable fixture. Alisson did miss out on a clean sheet in the highest ceiling game of his season, but he isn't far off behind the top place for projections with 4.4 points. Ederson is expected to score the most points in the next 3 game weeks up to the World Cup break with 13. Guaita and Pickford probably the best value keepers up to the World Cup break, with both coming in at only 4.5 million. Everton faces Fulham, Leicester and Bournemouth, while Palace faces Southampton, West Ham and Nottingham. Both these fixtures are very favourable in the 3-game run up to the World Cup break. My favourite differential pick from these is Pickford because of his great fixture run and price. We'll now look at the defenders to see who's top. So looking at defenders, and it's Alexander-Arnold top for Gameweek 14, projected to score 5.6 points against Leeds at Anfield. With Liverpool's fullbacks being subbed off a lot this season, Trent isn't particularly the most nailed-on defensive asset for Liverpool. He is now the second most expensive player amongst all defenders in the game after his 0.3 million price drop and a 0.3 gain from Cancelo, who is next on the list. He is projected the highest points over the next 3 with 2.8 points more than Trent. He is also more nailed on than his English counterparts. As I did talk about it earlier, the Forest fixture looks like a very high ceiling game for Arsenal players in defense and in the attack. Who better to own from the defensive side of Arsenal than the joint biggest riser in the game, Saliba, who is now priced at 5.2 million. If you can't afford him, however, Ben White can be a cheaper alternative. Trippier blanked finally for only his 3rd time this season last game week, but nearly racked up a bonus point for his efforts. Doherty, Rico Henry and Shaw are all in a void for me at this stage of the game. My favourite differential pick from these has to be Ben White due to his ownership and Arsenal's form. On to the midfielders, and the top projected one for this game week 14 is Salah with 8.8 points at home to Leeds. He has had 6 goal involvements in the last 2 home games against them, one of them being a hat-trick on the opening day of the 2020-2021 season. Leeds have lost their last 4 games, conceding 8 goals in the time. He is a very viable captaincy option this week as a differential alternative to Haaland, who will be the most popular captain this week too. It's a high risk, high reward sort of scenario whenever it goes for a captaincy shout such as this. Leave a comment down below on who is your captain this week. De Bruyne is the second one on the list and is projected to score just less than Salah in the next 3 game weeks. People are leaning in towards Foden right now because of the price difference, but we do get a more nailed option with the Belgian, as we saw in the previous game against Brighton. Martinelli and Saka again in the top 7 for point projections because of the very targetable Forest fixture. My favourite pick of the lot has to be Foden still, even with his rest in the weekend. On to the forwards, and Haaland is back on top, marginally projected to score more points than Salah this week. He is by far the highest projected point scorer in the next 3 game weeks too. He does go to Leicester, where they have only conceded 5 goals in the 6 games they've played there this season. That is more than only Man United, Everton and Brighton at home. Definitely not a must captain for this game week, and there may be a few players that do outscore him this game week. Up next, again targeting the Forest fixture, is Jesus, predicted to score 6.9 points this game week. Kane appears on the list once again. He is one of the most consistent returners this season, although he doesn't have a good double-digit haul potential. If you're looking for a differential pick, then look no further than Calvert-Lewin from Everton. He has really looked sharp since his injury, and Everton do have a pretty favourable fixture run up to the World Cup break. My favourite pick from these is Kane, and he has been very consistent up to now. That wraps up the Gameweek 14 watchlist video. Drop a comment down below for any suggestions for captaincy this game week. I'll be interested to see who most of you are captaining for Gameweek 14.